friends, I'm Angie.
I'm Michelle.
We're Blue Heavens. In this video, we're continuing the channel of Loki and Lokaous and Markus to allow them to work out their issues.
And it was a very interesting but healing for both of them.
Yes.
And we wanted to update everybody on what had happened since all of that happened. Because Loki went a little wild.
He did.
So,
but let's see what happens in this continuation. We hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Much love, friends. Alright, so we had to take a little break because I'm getting stung by bees. So I'm not going to channel anymore. So it's just going to be Michelle channeling Loki and Lokaous, and I'll ask questions to get us where we need to go. Alright.
Okay.
So Lokaous talked to us about the archangels and how he was touched by Archangel Michael to experience the crap that everybody puts you through. So where does that leave you guys now?
All right. Well, it is still. When I had told him I wanted him to feel my pain, that was a very stupid thing on my part. So where we're at now is we're trying to reconnect like the brother. He has Markus as a father. He needs the brother now. That's me. We have decided, this is the first time Michelle is observing this, first time she's heard what we're doing. But we're working it out as brothers. He tells me when I was there for that time, that little span of time would have been you're human, maybe 2 years maybe, but he was little. But he'd all be on my shoulders, and I'm not going to do that, but I would talk to him, and he listened to me. He laughed at my stupid jokes, and I connected. So we've agreed for now, brothers, however we can reconnect in that way. He has Markus as a father. That hurts me as a father. He knows and recognizes me as his dad. He will always stench of me, but he has accepted that. He told me after Michael had said that to him, who would you go into battle with? And he said, I would pick my dad every single time. It got to me in my heart because he knows that I would always defend him no matter what. I will defend him. If anybody comes at him, even her children, I will come at them, because he's still my son, and I will address it. But we're working out differences, different things. We're not really seeing eye to eye, but we're attempting to see eye to eye. And Michelle is always, and you as well, work with us on that, just to kind of keep it where I don't do this to him and belt him. One of the worst things I said to him is if I would take him over the ledge and just do that, and my anger had just more stemmed at everything else. We're trying to work things out. I just asked him to please let, when we're doing readings, when we are, to please allow me to come through and talk without your judgment. But if you do bring a judgment, let it be a reason for that. Maybe there's something I need to hear from him as well. So that is where we're at.
I love that this was so difficult for all of us, but everybody's trying to work it out, because at the end of the day, you all care for one another and you're helping energies. This is helping. We want to help. All of this is help. God's helping. He's clearing things up. You're seeing things with correct perspective. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm sorry you guys have had to go through everything you've had to go through to get to this point. But I'm thankful we're at least at this point, because it will just blossom to something. Who even knows what's going to come out of this?
When Markus said in his video, Michelle told me to listen to what Markus said as well. Lokaous watched the video, the first one, and me and Markus weren't concerned, and we should have been the most concerned, and we were not. And it was him, and we should have been the two to Ben, and we were not. We were not concerned. The look on his face, we had to. And Michelle made a point to say to me, she goes, it's a mirror reflection of people when they hate that part of themselves, and they will fight that. How many people come at their other selves and they want to belt it over the edge? That's your ego, a spiritual awakening. She told me that resembled your spiritual awakening. If holding on to that thing, that's not even relevant anymore. My hatred for Lokaous wasn't even relevant. I was yelling at him for stuff that was my fault. It was not his fault. I wanted to save the world. I wanted to show my dad I could save the world, because he was not going to give me that recognition. I was a young man. You talked about his being naive. Well, I was that naive young man. That was me. I wanted to save the world that he did. He did what I could not accomplish. And now I'm in a cave. But he'd be the first person to protect me if it came down to it. So I trust him with my life as I would, I trust him with my life and he trusts me with his.
Yeah.
That's a big step. I would have not before. But that we had to, but the fighting, it had to happen. We had to watch fighting.
There's a squirrel in the tree. I'm getting nuts.
Nods.
That's so cute.
That's cute.
It's cute. Sorry.
That's cute. No, not just
Squirreled.
Squirrel. Marcus is probably. My father always has to.
Had
just be
nuts fall
distracted.
on me.
Are you calling me a nut, Dad? This could be a sign from my father calling me a nut. Are you a nut? Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus, for this, because that feels like a Marcus.
Trying
Trying to get us to get rid of the serious.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
not a, yes.
Yeah,
This
he doesn't. He doesn't like it to be muddy for long.
He wants it to be brought
Yeah.
up. So, yes, this is what we are attempting to.
I think it's fantastic, and I think it's a very good start for both of you. And I think you both have a lot to teach one another and us.
I am still just
Always,
angry.
you can still save the world. This could be the time it happens.
I'm still going to be this hateful jackass. I mean, it's never going to be this Loki and all. No, it is going to be a fool. I'm going to.
You always have your essence.
I have my essence, and if it comes down to it, I will. But not to Lokaous, not to Markus, but to the rightful people that would deserve it. That part will never leave.
Right.
That's that part of me that's always going to be the asshole. And,
Yeah.
and if I wasn't an asshole, people wouldn't know what to do. Like,
Right.
he's not. You know why Lokaous, what brought us back, kind of? And this is funny before I bring him back. I usually make offhand comments to him. I called him names. I called him everything under the sun. And joking, but he gets mad at me. And Michelle told me to give him his time, to don't say nothing to him. Give him his time, don't say nothing. I didn't. He said something Sunday to her son, and I kept quiet. And he waited for my comeback, and I said nothing. And he was quiet. And he goes, Michelle, why isn't Loki saying anything? She said, well, I told him to back off until you were okay. It hurt him more than anything. I wasn't making a comment to him. And so she goes, well, just say it to him. So I called him what I called him, I called him everything under the sun. And he laughed, he giggled. And then he goes, and then when he was calling me Loki, next hour he said, Dad. He said, Dad. I'm like, and I'm just like, he said Dad, because he was not calling me, he was calling me Loki or that thing, but he called me Dad. And she said, and then so Michelle said back, because I could keep going to him, but I did. But then now we are laughing and we're working it out. So I want to bring Lokaous back so he can say his parts. So you do meet us. I'm still not no soft Loki. It's still going to be, you piss me off, you're going to get what you get. So don't do it. It's not good.
Yeah,
But not to be
thrown
good.
Off the ledge.
She really felt I was going to, and I want to
yeah.
apologize to you because you felt that.
I did. It was terrible.
When you watched the video, and if you haven't
Terrible.
watched it, it's hard to watch. But she came back, and I'd seen look on her eyes of, I thought you were going to push me off the ledge. That made me feel terrible because that's really only for the kids, not for you.
Yeah.
But I felt like such a heel, so I do apologize to you. No, I would never
Just
push
thanks
you
for
off.
not doing it. I knew you wouldn't because it's me, but still to feel it.
But when I
And
said,
then to hear you say it, and like, oh God, I'm in here.
but then I look at you and I say I can black out because unfortunately I can black out.
Right, like you're still going with it, and it was just like, just
I-
abort.
I can
abort,
black
Angela,
out.
abort.
And that, but I will bring Lokaous back with you. I'm back.
All right.
Hi.
Hi. What update can you give us?
Well, like Dad had said to you, we have agreed, brothers, to start off.
Yeah.
We need to reconnect. We are not. So what we have been doing, because the whole Loki could
Yeah.
black out and we know his aspects. And because he scares me. To some
Yeah.
degree. He scares
Yeah.
me. This his aspect scares me. And he knows that.
Yeah.
We are starting off as brothers, but we are kind of being watched by Markus, we're watched by Michelle, and
Yeah.
you get to watch. And it's like what triggers him, what ticks him off.
Yeah.
It's more me trying to discover what not to say to him. And I said to him, the first thing I say is, I see the pain in your eyes. He took it as a form of weakness and he blew.
Yeah.
And I knew now don't say that to him.
Yeah.
But I've also enlightened him. Michelle said, well, if he thinks that, talk about some of these lives that you've had, that were terrible lives, and that was also a suggestion from her daughter Laura. I had a life as a Nazi soldier.
Wow.
I was one of those that was in the concentration camp. I was telling Laura this yesterday. Not fun. I was one of those. I could tell you stories that wasn't. It wasn't fun. And by the way, I didn't volunteer. There's a lot more into that. And I told Dad I had basically no free will. So that was maybe the closest life I had to no free will. So I could base it, because the whole thing was a terrible thing. The whole thing afterwards was a terrible thing. And basically it ended up, I had a family. When I say had a family, the whole thing, terrible. Loki had to watch things happen to you guys, and he had to watch basically after everything. I didn't want to do it. There's more to this whole life that I won't get into. But let's just say after luckily they got saved, the Americans came in, and rightfully so came after us, the soldiers. He hid, of course. I can't say the name. YouTube won't allow that. But he hid with his family. He hid, of course, and left us to pay for the consequences.
Yep.
My wife was raped. My kids were killed. I was beaten the crap out of, and I had to hide the rest of my being until my death. I had to hide from the government.
I bet.
So I told my dad these things. I said, Dad, I may not have know your path, but this was some things here. Laura, I had told some of the things. I was hung for crimes, and these little kids walked around me, and I told him about this life in particular. I don't want to talk about it, but I did some things, really bad things, and I got hung. But while I was being hung, kids circled me going, 1 snap, 2 snap, 3 snaps, 4. How many snaps did it take to break his neck?
That's one of the first things you said when you started coming out. That was
your eyes. You were one of the children that told me. That's okay. It was not the fault of the child. I don't fault the child. I deserve that. I deserve that. That's why that was one of the first things I was remembering, that light through your eyes. And that's okay, because you got to remember a child that I deserve what I got. When I went to the divine, and I even said, where were you at? Because you were given plenty of opportunities not to do what you did. So, I understand. I deserve that. But the song still echoes in my head.
Yeah.
That's the one that has left some things for me to think about. When I get too cocky or too out of my league, he wants me to remember these things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, but these are some of the pains that I asked to remember, because I need to be humble still. Remember, I was an alcoholic. I was a very bad alcoholic, opium addict. I was terrible. So as well, I understand humans. I get the addiction, but the food right now is just our addiction. But no, I talked to Dad and through Michelle some of the things, so he could understand. I understood some of this free will.
Yeah. And
how would he want me to know Atlantis through his eyes? Because I only get bits and pieces of Atlantis.
Right.
So I wanted to know his beauty. What did he see before? I mean, even with no free will, there was beauty.
Right.
And I wanted him, and what I see, because I still go to Atlantis, and he wanted to see it through my eyes. So we have bonded over Atlantis, the good parts of Atlantis. We've bonded over my pains that I went through.
Yeah.
And this was Laura had told him. She said she was like, you need to pay attention to some of the parts he's been through.
But you found common ground.
I found things that hurt me, so he understood.
Right.
I understood his pain.
Right. So maybe that can tell us something. If there's someone that we mirror in a negative way or in a way that hurts us, try to find your common ground with that person. Just start there. You can start as brothers, right?
Yes, that's what we're starting off as. He told me I have a father, which is Marcus, and he said when I was your brother, that was the most fun we had. We actually scared Marcus Sunday night. All over an app. We and him were laughing over something, and we are actually laughing. Marcus thought we were going to go and we were destructing something. So he walked over and he goes, "You boys all right?" Because he was so confused at the laughing of the two of us. Where that's when we both agreed to be brothers, because we laugh like brothers. When you say father and son, it's a whole other.
Yes.
But the feeling of the brother is why we.
Yeah, you're on equal ground.
We're on equal ground because we are brothers in a sense. I'm his aspect.
Right.
And he said, and I've asked Marcus to maybe try to reconnect with Loki. I said, he's been hurt. Yeah. I said, if he needs that, but, I said, what you gave me should have been given to him. And that's still a problem with us. But still, that's a fight. And that's for another day. We'll work this. We're just starting very slowly. and that. But we're not fighting, and I try to listen to what he says and his wisdom. So I haven't been telling her kids don't listen to Loki. I have not said it. I caught myself that I back it up. I say, Dad, I'm sorry, and then I will bring that and that. So, and when I talk to the archangels and say he can't be around.
Right.
When I told him I was talking to them, he said, well, I wasn't totally trust them. But I understand, he goes, you have to. Except for the one, he said, I get it. But yes, so that's what's going on.
All right.
That is what's going on. And Marcus wants one last, and then because it's hot, so.
Yeah, it's hot.
And this Marcus, you seen?
Yes.
They're brothers now.
Yeah.
It still hurts me. That hurts still. And I want that connection with Loki, but that's not the thing. I've tried, and he. I was like,
let it start with Lokaous. It's like a stepping stone to you. Who's your stepping stone going to be? Who are you going to try to reconnect with and find common ground with? Let's start. We need to heal all our issues.
Step back and take accountability from the things you've done. That's one of the hardest things. It all stems from me. Yeah. You have like a child or something, maybe even similar to this, or a person or a friend that you've not lost contact with for some reason. Yeah. And look at what you might have been, the accountability. I was too busy saying Loki did everything, that not to even look at myself. Right. It's a lesson here. Take accountability of yourself. The divine, it wants you to take that. Yes. And I am a being. I am not of this. So this is harder for me to take accountability because I don't. I'm logical.
You don't have to do those things.
I'm a logical being. I'm logical. Right. So this makes no sense to me. Right. But if it makes her happy, then that's what is going to happy. And watching Lokaous happy, and it is worth it. This place feels
the wind feels so good. It's been so hot, you guys.
It is very hot. It is very hot.
I'm just going to sit here and get dribbled on with these squirrel nuts that are falling out of the tree.
I am trying to get everybody to laugh.
Loki
knew that was me. This is me here pulling it off. Here's me dropping some knots on you guys. Yeah, see my dad. Yeah, but that's what's the update for everybody to know. It's, if you have somebody to reconnect with, please reconnect. And this is a hurt that I want to, but it's probably not in this lifetime. But that's okay.
But we never know. One step at a time.
I just want to see my sons happy. Yeah. That's all. I just want to see them happy.
And God just wants to see us happy.
He wants He wants that so bad with you humans. He wants you to be happy, and even little silly things, but you're sweating and the bees. These are all little things that remind you to be alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But this has been a wonderful experience. I never want to repeat this experience. Yeah. So please, I hope everybody heard this. Yeah. Because I don't want to repeat. Yeah. Eye-opening, but from I can tell you, I like doing like the Exodus and things like that. Us talking about things that were beings. Lokaous is the only one that the human. The rest of us are like this, so.
But hopefully it's a reflection to show you healing, and that healing is possible, and to see how to go about it, how to take accountability, what you can look forward to. Hopefully these things are evident in this video.
Yes, and if you have a squirrel above your head dropping nuts, watch where the nut is falling. So that might be a lesson. Because I am hearing it above their head, and I'm sitting there going,
oh. Little dribbles everywhere.
Yeah, Michelle is sitting there like this. If you're watching her, she's sitting there like,
I know.
She's had them drop on her head before.
I know.
Like little red hen. She's like, and she's like, no, the camera people will laugh, and all of you will laugh.
Like they're big nuts too.
Look at that.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this video.
I enjoyed this video a lot.
Remember, you are unconditionally loved.
And this is Markus. And yes, you are unconditionally loved.
Everything is beautiful.
It's so beautiful, even all of the nuts on the ground. And no nuts and stuff.
There's nuts and stuff.
Yeah, stop laughing, Loki, because the minute you say it's like you start laughing.
Know that we love you, and we will see you in our next video. God bless y'all.